talked about it. This is going to be a very big draft for quarterbacks, or it appears to be at this point a big draft for quarterbacks. How do you have them ranked, if you don't mind sharing with us? The guys that will be draft eligible.
Look, we're probably a little different, than maybe what some teams are doing. Right now we really like Caleb Williams still, in spite of the. He's had. I want to see this month how he plays, because I thought the Notre Dame game, they came out with some coverages, that were a little unique. They had some different levels in terms of how they were handling flat coverage, and they had five guys back there and giving him fits in terms of reading. Very good coverage disguise, and he didn't respond well. I don't know if I'm going to blame him for that, and they may not have been prepared for that type of thing, but it was something that concerned us a little bit. And I know one of the guys in our scouts, one of our other guys, he didn't want to he wanted to knock him out of number one, based on that. And I said, let's hold off on that. Let's see how he does. He's playing some really good teams the next month. The thing I like about him, that extemporaneous ability to move the ball on, to throw on the move, to different arm slots, kind of Pat Mahomes like. So he does some things that are really special that you can't teach, in terms of his ability to deliver accurate passes from different arm slots. And so that's, a strength. He's mobile. He's got great arm strength, from, again, those, throwing on the move, throwing off balance and different things. He's a strong kid. He's not real tall. So, we still like him as number one. The kid that we like next, probably, and again, we want to see the rest of the season, but Dan Shanka loves Jaden Daniels from LSU. And right now, we've got him as our number 2 quarterback on that list, and we know we're going to be unique in that regard. But the thing that we've tried to do is we're going to rank the player not so much how we think they're going to be drafted, but how we think they're going to be as a pro. Because if you look over the years, how many quarterbacks have not, that are the number one guy, have not ended up being the best pro? And vice versa. How many guys are drafted late? A guy last year that I absolutely loved, and he's a local kid, a great kid, great family, great work ethic. One of my former players, who's also a coach, has worked with him in that Throw It Deep, Christensen's group. He works for them. Aiden O'Connell, who just started for the Raiders, and we really liked him. In fact, I regret that we didn't rank him higher than we did, because we really believed he was going to be a very solid quarterback, and I think he's going to be a very good pro before it's over. As you can see, he's already, had one game under his belt, as a start pretty well. But, wait and see. The old scout once told me, you really don't know what you've got until you get those guys in your building. You really don't know. How is Bryce Young going to respond to what's happening to him in Carolina right now? We had C.J. Stroud as our number 1 last year, and we stuck with that pretty much all the way through. So we'll see, where it goes. Drake May from North Carolina is an outstanding quarterback, and he could be the number 1 guy before it's over as far as how they're ranked. We really like him. Shader Sanders, I don't think he's going to come out, but he looks awful good. He didn't make a lot of mistakes, and let's see how he does. I don't think Deion brought him there to stay there for 1 year, but you never know. Michael Penix Jr. was a guy that I wanted to see how he did this year. Our guys felt the same way about him, and he has exceeded our expectations. And we think there's 5 quarterbacks right there that in our top 5 that we think any one of those guys could be a first-round pick, and any one of those guys could be the best one in the bunch, even though they're not drafted in the top, as the top 10 quarterback or the first guy. So, and Quinn Ewers from Texas, another guy we like. Going down the line, Bo Nix from Oregon. I know a lot of people don't like him. We still do. J.J. McCarthy has improved dramatically this year in his accuracy. He's a kid we like.
How many typically? How,
has accuracy issues, but he's an athlete, and
how
he's
many
done some
how
good
many
things.
quarterbacks are typically taken in the first 5 rounds versus what could be this year?
Uh, that's
Or
hard to say. I think
first
you're
four
looking at about
rounds?
17, 18 drafted, and maybe about 7 or 8 in the first 5, maybe
Okay.
10. Last year was a little bit less because it wasn't the greatest year for quarterbacks. But I thought there were a lot of good potential quarterbacks that had some flaws, some things that if you want to nitpick, you could say, hey, this is wrong, and we're not going to draft them that high. But there were a lot of quarterbacks drafted last year, not real high. Once you get
Yeah.
past that top 4 guys, that
Yeah.
they didn't go off the board very fast after that. Then all of a sudden, you get into that 4th round, they're starting to go. So every year is different. This year I think you may see some of these guys. You may see 8, 9, 10 of them in the first 3 rounds. Just depends on who needs a quarterback.
A lot of teams with everybody starting now, they're all starting backups. Everybody's injured in the NFL, so
Yeah, that's the truth too. And
that's
everybody needs a third quarterback now so that they can put on
now
the
that they've
field.
got the emergency quarterback, it
Yes,
makes a
everybody's
big
got to
difference.
have that guy, which is, I think, one of the reasons why you saw so many guys that some of these guys got signed as free agents too that we thought were going to get drafted.
Yeah.
You know, so but yeah, it's a good group. Jordan Travis, Florida State, as a kid that's come on, and obviously Florida State's playing real well. Joe Milton of Tennessee, big kid, tall. So yeah, it's a. I like this group of quarterbacks.
Well, Coach, we're going to ask you to stay on, and anytime you've got anything, you're subbing for Coach Riley. So